Hello everybody, it's me Alicia. So remember my last tutorial I showed you guys how to make these really cool bracelets. I called them, oh gosh, it was a long name. It was Infinity Interweaving Seed Bead Chain Bangle Bracelet Tutorial, something like that. I know it's a long name, but I felt that it really matched to what it is. It's so cool. It's a interweaving seed bead chain. It's so neat. I really love how these turned out, and I wanted to experiment more with them, and I started doing a little bit of a sample piece, but I didn't go too far when I had last talked to you guys in my last video. So I sat down and I tried to work some more with this. If you haven't seen this bracelet, go to my channel and you'll find it there. And so I made another weave, okay, and I thought instead of doing just the chain where it's circles like this that are connected, what if I did the circles staggered? So I did the circles staggered and I got this, right? Just imagine those 6 O's not there. And it's a really neat pattern, and so I was going to weave in them, and I thought that I could weave several different ways. I can do the interweaving thing where I did with this one and cross through a bead in the middle, and I can go on this side, straight on this side, one and one on this side. So I would actually have 3 separate it would be bracelets in one. They would all be interweaved into each other. And then I also thought, because of this really cool staggered pattern I have, I could actually go this way, that way, you know what I mean? Kind of like triangles, weaving through it. And I also even tried taking a strand of seed beads with a needle, and I passed through a hole, and I just weaved one strand up and down, you know, going like this, like I'm sewing with thread through here with the beads. And I don't know, that didn't work out so well. It wasn't laying right. It was really wavy and it was all wonky. And I even tried doing an angle that way. Wasn't crazy about it. I also thought I could weave cord through here or some kind of other material, but I saw a neat pattern forming that I wanted to do on this, and so I figured out how to add larger 6/0 seed beads to the top, and I really love how this worked out. And I wanted to show how to do another interweaving thing, but I liked this so much that I wanted to show you guys how to do this instead. So that's where I'm at right now. Now, I used large seed beads for the base of this, okay? These green ones here are 8/0 seed beads. They are Vintage Venetian, right here, olive green, 500 grams. I get these at Shipwreckbeads. I always wait for them to go on sale. They're actually running really low on these. I got these maybe a few years back. Sometimes they go on sale like 50% off. So I've gotten, this is a 500 gram bag. I've gotten 1,000 grams in chartreuse colors and 11/0s one time for like $3, I think it was. It was really cheap. So they have really good sales, but I believe they're almost out of the Vintage Venetian. But anyways, I used larger beads for the base of this because it works up faster. If I use smaller beads, 11/0s, 10/0s, it will take longer to make. And I just wanted to have this be a faster process. And since I have a lot of 8/0s like this that are Vintage Venetian, and I think they're pretty good quality beads, I decided to use those. And I decorated the top. I filled in the holes with 6/0 seed beads. Now, if you don't have 8/0s, you can still make this. If you want, you probably could do 6/0 seed beads for the base, but it will make your bracelet wider. It'll make it bigger because you're making a bigger bracelet using bigger beads. But you could fill the top with, you could go through your beads and just see what will fill in the hole. Basically, that's what you're trying to do. You might have to put 6mm beads in the holes, maybe rounds, pearls, bicones, czech fire polish, whatever you can fit in the holes. You could do this weave in 11/0s or 10/0s. I actually prefer 10/0s if you're going to do monofilament. And you can make this bracelet with monofilament or fireline, whatever you have on hand. You could do a 6-pound monofilament, an 8 or a 10-pound. It really, whatever you got on hand, you could probably use to make this bracelet. And I did 6/0 seed beads here on the top, but I would actually like to try Czech fire polish beads because they're sparkly, and I wanted to make a sparkly looking bracelet. But I really liked, I actually made this blue one here first. I'm going to be doing this one on the video because these here are dark and it's kind of hard to see them. But I actually did these two color combinations first, and I liked it so much that I wanted to do 2 more bracelets that were similar to it, and I wanted to wear all of them together. So I will be wearing all 3 of these together. I like how they look together. It's really pretty. So it's up to you. I'm going to have the list of materials down there like I always do, and also I'm going to put some notes down there giving you guys some bead alternatives and stuff, so make sure you check down there and just read everything that I have for you guys. So for the list of materials, you will need 9 feet of whatever string material you want. I'm using 10 pound because I'm using 8 OC beads. They have large holes. If you're using 11 OC beads or 10 O's, you're probably going to want to use a 6 pound monofilament or fireline. If you're doing 10 OC beads, you could probably get away with 8 pound, but I'm not totally sure on that. I will have notes down there on, you know, sizes that you can use with certain weights of string material, so make sure you check that out. And like I already said, I'm using 8 OC beads and 6 O's for the top, but like I said, you can play around with the sizes. You can do so many different things with this. It's a really neat weave, and I think that everybody will be able to make this with the materials you have now on hand. So let's get started. So I just cut my 9 feet of monofilament, and as always, when you cut monofilament, it does this. It coils up, right? And I've talked about how to deal with this before in my other videos, but if you're new to this channel, then chances are you might not have caught me talk about this. So it's all coiled up right now, right? But all you have to do to straighten this out is to run the monofilament between your fingers, and thinking of it as a straightening iron for hair, it straightens it out. Okay, it just heatens up, your fingers heating up, and it straightens out the monofilament. So I go just like this, running it through my fingers as fast as I can, take turns. Sometimes I actually burn my fingers doing it so fast, but it works. It straightens out the monofilament. So I'm going to do it a few more times, and then I'll start. And you can also do this while you're working on the piece if it starts to coil up. Okay, now I'm going to show you how awesome it is now. Okay, so look at this. It's not coiling anymore. See this? It's now manageable. It's great. So we are working with 9 feet of monofilament, and that may seem like a lot for some of you. I'm used to working with a lot of string material at one time. And by the way, this tube, I believe, is like a 9 or 10 gram tube, and all of the beads that I have in here I am using, so that's about how much you will need to make a bracelet. So like I said, this is a lot of string material, right? 9 feet, but because of how this bracelet is made, you can actually start making this bracelet in the middle, the very center of the bracelet, work in one direction, and then when you have like a 10-inch tail left, go to your other thread and work on that side. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So this technique for making this is actually a one needle technique. It's not interweaving, you know, going with both hands. It's actually one. And I actually tried doing this weave right here with 2 ends, but it does not work. One side gets really short and you run out of string material. You have to do this with 1 string. This one here I did with 2 ends going like that, you know, weaving. I'm going to start by picking up 6 seed beads. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I'm going to slide down the first 4, and I'm going to crisscross my strings through the first 2. Okay, put the ends together just like that. so they're even, and then bring these 2 beads down to the very center of your string material. And what we're going to be doing is we are starting the weave in the very center of our string material, right? But we're using 1 string at a time, not both. We're not weaving with both, we're just doing 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this string and work in one direction until I have a 10-inch tail, and then I stop and I go to my other string and I work in that direction. Because we have so much string material here, and because of how this bracelet is made, we are able to start making it in the middle to make it easier on us. Okay, so here is the center. I'm just going to hold it like this. I'm going to take my string. Again, I'm working with 1 string here at a time. I'm going to pick up 5 beads because I have a circle of 6, 4, and 5. Just like this. Slide them down. So I'm coming out right here, okay, with my working string. I'm going to take and come around just like that, okay, and I'm making a circle. Okay, so now I have a figure 8. Now I'm going to take this string and I'm going to pass through the brand new seed beads I just added. So this one right here, I'm going to take my string and pass through that bead, just the one, okay, pull it through. Now we have this. Now I'm going to pick up 4 seed beads because I already have 2 here. I'm going to be using these 2, so I only have to pick up 4. So after picking up 4, I'm going to pass through this bead and this bead. So I'm coming out right here, I'm going around, and I'm going to go through these 2. Now I may have to go through it like this because of the angle. It's kind of hard to go through at one time, so just like that, pull my string through. Okay, so now I have this, and I can see that it's actually twisted right there. It's trying to tie a knot, so to fix that I just have to pull this string through this hole so it doesn't tie the knot on me. Okay, so now it stopped twisting. Okay, so now we have this, and if you study this, you can actually see that our strings are Xing out of the same exact spot on each side. So I just added these beads right here, okay? I'm going to take this string again. My cat's behind me watching me with the string, it's funny. Okay, so I'm taking this string and I'm going to pass through this bead, okay, of the beads that I just added on. Passing through here, just like that. Now I'm going to pick up 4 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. Coming out here, I have to circle back around, so I'm going to go through this bead, and I have to turn it and go through this one, the one that I'm Xing out of, right there. Okay, and then pull this string. We're going to make another circle. So see that? Now we're starting to have some staggered circles. Okay, now pull both of these strings tight. Okay, you want to make sure you have a nice tight tension throughout this now. So I have to pass this string through the beads that I just added. So I just added those. So I'm going to take my end again and pass through this bead right here. Okay, just like that. Again, I'm going to pick up, and by the way, I did not purposely paint my nails to match the beads. That was a total accident. So now I'm going to pick up 4. Okay, and I have to come through here again. If I can, I'll go through that one, but sometimes I can't. Let's see. One shot. Okay, I did it. Okay, I went through all, or I went through 2 of them. Okay, pull this through, just like that. Again, push these down, pull it tight. So now I have 5 circles. So now I have to reposition my string to pick up more beads. So again, I just added these beads here. I have to go through this bead, okay, and pick up 4 beads. Oh, and by the way, every time I wear beaded rings, you guys ask me if I can make a tutorial for the ring I'm wearing, and I actually have a tutorial for like 99.9% of the rings that I'm wearing. So if you want to make a ring that you see me wearing in my videos, go to my channel, Beautiful Nights channel, go to playlists, and go to rings, and you'll see the ring there that I'm wearing in my videos, okay? So I just picked up 4, coming out of here, going through this bead, and if I can, I'll go through the next. Let's see, okay, just like that. Pull it tight. So when I first started making this, I was actually getting confused, and I kept wanting to go through this bead, and that was the problem. I have to go through the bead that I just added. So I just added these, okay, that means I have to go through this one here. That's a little thing I kept doing at first. Alright, so passing through that bead. Now I have 6 circles. So you can see working with bigger beads makes this go faster than working with 11-ohs. Okay, so there's 4 coming out of here. Again, I'm going to go around and go through this bead, and I also have to go through this one that I'm actually Xing out of. Okay, pull the string through. And if it gets loose right here, you can pull this string to tighten up what you previously did, and then pull this one to tighten it all up. Now I have 7 circles. Okay, and again I have to pass my string through the new circle that I just made. So through this bead here, not that one. This one here is sticking out more. After you get going a few rows, you could see this one here is protruding out more, so you're going to be going through the circle that is sticking out more than the other. So again, I'm going to make another circle, and this time the new circle will be sticking out more than this one, okay? So that's how I kind of know that I need to go through that one bead in the circle that's sticking out more. Here's 4, going through here, and maybe there. Let's see. Okay, just like this. And by the way, if you do this with 6-pound monofilament, you can use a needle, and I found that tulip beading needles work great with 6-pound monofilament. Passing my string through this bead here. The next one. Okay, and I'm just going to keep going. So it's very simple. You're just going to be repeating this over and over. And like I said, we started weaving this in the center of our string. So I'm going to keep working with this string until I have about a 10-inch tail left. And then I stop and I go to this string and I keep doing this weave. And just like with these bangles, I found for me 9 inches is the perfect length for me to slide over my hand, because there's no clasp. If you want, you could put a clasp in this, but I prefer it without a clasp because you know, some clasps they tarnish and stuff, and some people have metal allergies, so it's really nice to actually not use a clasp. I like skipping that if I can. Okay, I'm gonna go through this bead now, and because I'm at this angle, I'm also gonna pass through this one and pull this through. Okay, so I just added this here, okay, and it's this ring, this circle is sticking out more than that one, so that means I have to pass my string through that first bead right there in the new circle I just made. Just like that. Again, stop every once in a while and pull both of these strings tight and keep going. Okay, 4 again. 4. Coming out here, I'm going to pass through this bead and through the next one that I'm Xing out of with this string. Pull through. Again, you can pull this string here to tighten up the previous circle, and then pull this one, and now we have this. So I'm just going to do this one more time with you guys. It's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. I'm coming out here. I'm going to flip this. I have to pass my string out through the next seed bead in the circle that's sticking out, okay? Just like that. And then I'm going to pick up 4 seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pass through these 2 here. Okay. Just like that. I'm going to take this string and pass through this bead of the new circle I just added. Okay, so look at that. Now I have 11 circles. That's what it looks like. So I'm going to keep going with this string until I have a 10-inch tail. Then I'm going to stop and I'm going to go to this one. And this one here is just the same exact weave. This one is already where we need to be at. Right there is where we need to be at. So on this one, I'm just going to pick up 4 seed beads, pass through this bead and through that bead. Okay, pull this string, then the circle will come down, and I will go through the first bead that I added in that new circle. So keep going doing this weave. It's a really fun weave. So I kept going weaving, as you can see, and I'm now at 8.5 inches, and I have 5 seed beads here that I'm going to use to close this up. And right here is my 10-inch tail that I left, just like I told you guys. And then over here I have maybe 3 feet of string material to close this up and decorate the top. So now you can see what it looks like all open. And if you go back and rewind to me talking about how I thought of different ways of decorating this, like with this interweaving seed bead look, I thought that I could do just like this color pattern here, be more helpful. I thought I could weave in between these holes in a straight line, see, like that. I could do both sides and they would be parallel to each other, the orange would be. And I don't know, I just thought of different ways I could do it. I could do like zigzag look weaving. It would be very time consuming because you have to crisscross your ends through that middle bead. So I would, if I were to do this, okay, I would right now close this up into a bangle, tie it off, and then I would come back with a new piece of string material and I would start doing this interweaving inside the bracelet. I would have to do one side all the way around, meet it, get it to meet, close it up, and then start the other side. It would take a long time to make it, but it would look really cool. Okay, I'm going to show you how to close this up. Like I said, I'm at 8.5 inches right now. This is the perfect length for me as a bangle. I have 5 seed beads here. This is my short string. This is my long one. I'm going to take my long one. Let's see, which direction do I need to be? I'm going to pull each tail. I'm going to hold it like this. Okay? Just like this. So I'm going to grab my long string. I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead. I'm currently Xing out right here. Okay? I'm going to take my string and pass through this bead that my other one is Xing out of. Pull this through. Okay, now I have this. So I'm going to hold it just like this. Again, get my string again. I have to pass through this seed bead that's right next to the one I'm Xing out of. Through here. Oops. Just like this. Get a better grip on this. Okay. Now I'm going to pick up 2 because if you look, I just picked up this one right here, okay? Picked up this one. I went through this one, and then when I pull it shut, I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4 seed beads that were going to be part of my circle. So I just need 2 more right here. Picking up 2, I'm going to pass through this bead and the one that I picked up earlier. Okay, through there. So now I have a circle. So now I have to take this string, the long one that I'm working with, and I'm going to pass through this bead. Okay, so pulling all this tight. So now you could see this right here. I'll open it up. That's the circle I just closed up. I'm coming out of this bead. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. This is going to be another circle. I have to pick up 2 more beads. So 1, 2. Okay, I'm going to turn this now. I'm going to pass through this bead and the one beside it, because these 2 beads, after this bead, I have to pass through this bead because these 2 beads here aren't connected in a circle. There's no thread path between them. Okay, so pulling that through. I now have it closed up. But what I want to do now is I need to get my strings to exit out of the same bead so I can pull this tight. So I'm just bringing that string up there to the top. Okay, and I'm going to weave this into this bead here, just like that. Okay, and I'll take the same string again and I'll pass through this bead, the one that my short string is exiting out of. So now both of my strings are exiting out of the same bead, just in different directions. So you see that right there? So now we have it all closed up, and again I could pull this loose so you could see how we closed it. It's pretty cool. Pull it tight again. So now I'm ready to decorate the top. That's the easy part, and it's really fun. So I have my short string there in my left hand. I'm going to take my longer one now, and remember both strings are exiting out of the same bead, this one right here. I'm going to pick up 1 6/0, and by the way, I use Vintage Venetian for this, but the top I did these Czech. So I have 1 6/0, and I'm going to put it right here. I have to take my string and go through this bead, and if you have to, you can fold your bracelet like this so you can get through the bead easier. Okay, so pulling that through. Before I pull that bead down though, I'm just going to pull this one last time really tight and then pull that bead down into the hole. Okay, now I have to make sure that these aren't twisted around each other. Okay, they're not. So I'm going to be working in this direction now, and I'm holding the short 10-inch tail out of my way, and I'm picking up another bead, and I'm going to put it here in this hole. So I'm coming out here, I have to fold this and go through this bead, and when I pull it, it pops into place, and then I'm picking up another one. I'm going to put it here. So I have to pass through this bead, pull it down, just like that. It's very easy. Picking up another one, coming out here, I have to go through the bead beside that. Pull it tight, picking up another, coming out here, Again, you can fold the bracelet and pass through the next bead. Okay, picking up another, coming out that bead. I'm going to turn it and fold the bracelet so I can easily go through the bead beside that one. Slide it down just like that, and again pick up another bead. Coming out this hole, I'm going to go in to the next one. So I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but what I'm doing right now is a technique that I did on beaded beads. A few weeks ago, maybe more, I did beaded beads that had a floral print on them. And after I did the bead was filled with holes. I filled in the holes using this technique. So now I've taken this technique and I've used it to fill in the holes on this bracelet. Coming out here, I'm going to turn it, fold the bracelet, and pass through this bead right here. Now sometimes it might be tricky to get through the bead. You can use tweezers to help you get through. I've used them probably 5 times or so to get through some tricky areas. Going through this one here. But with the 8/0 seed beads, it's not bad. If you're doing 11/0s and you're doing monofilament, 6-pound monofilament, you will have a harder time passing back through. But that's why I really enjoyed working with the 8/0s and 6/0s. Okay, picking up another one. I'm now going to go through the next bead. Pull this through. So I'm going to do this 2 more times and then let you do it by yourself. So again, pick up one bead. I'm coming out this one here. I'm going to go into the next one. Fill that hole. Picking up one. I'm coming out right here. I'm going to go into this one. Alright, so it's very simple. Just keep going, doing this weave until you have your bracelet filled all the way around. See how cool they look together? So I went all the way around on my bracelet, and now I have 2 more holes here to fill in. So I'm picking up a bead, again folding it. I folded it the whole way to pass through the 8 there in the middle. Put that bead on, pick up another bead, and pass through this one. And I might need tweezers to get through this one. See this string right here? It is coming out of that bead that I have to pass through. If I can't pass through it, I might have to take my awl and pull this string out and get my other string through it. And I'll just take that string in another direction. But the tweezers usually get me through, so see right here? I have to go through this bead. Okay. Pull it tight. There I am, all closed up. Now to tie knots, this string's going in that direction, this one's going in this direction, so I'm going to get on the outer edge here, passing through this bead. I'm going to pass through this one, take this string, pass through that bead just like I did over there. Okay. And then pass through. That one's going in that direction, so I'll pass this one down. So they are going in the opposite direction. Okay. Just like this. And do you see how putting the seed beads on the top makes the base with the 8/0s curve? It makes it curve a little bit. I really love how that does that. It's so pretty. And now it went from being flat with just the 8/0s, and then when you put the 8s on, it makes it curve. Okay, so tying knots. So this one's in position to tie knots, and so is this one. So I'm just going to take this string, pass it right here, okay, under this bead, pull it through, and before I do tie knot, I need to make sure this is tight. I don't want this to be loose at all. Okay, now I'm going to take and pass my string through this loop twice. I want my knot to sit right here between these two eights, and I'm going to pull that knot down. Now I have to take this string, weave through this 8. I have to go in this direction, okay, because that one's going in that direction to tie knots. And then what I'm going to do is take this string, go through this bead, that bead, that bead, that bead, go through this one, tie another knot here, and then weave back through these beads again. Tie another knot, weave back through these beads again, tie another knot. I do about 3 to 4 knots on this side. I don't trim this string off though, I leave it there, okay? Because I know which direction I have to go into when I go to tie my other one. So then I come over here, and this one will be sticking out over there, so I know that I have to go in this direction so I don't lose my placement. So again, I tie 3 or 4 knots on this side, and I pass through a few beads, and I trim off the string, and my bracelet is all done. It's so pretty. I really love this, and I think if I could figure out how to do this 4 rows wide, it would look really awesome. But I knew it would be very time consuming to make it 4 rows wide. And not just that, but it would take a lot of beads. It would take a lot of beads to do that, but it would look so cool. I think they're pretty neat. I like all 3 of them together. So I have to finish tying knots, but I just wanted to show you guys what these look like on. They're really neat. Like I said, I would like to have tried some different beads on the top other than seed beads, maybe bicones, Czech fire polish beads, maybe pearls, but I really like how all 3 of these look together, and I wanted to wear them as stacking bracelets, so I just did the 6 rows on the top. But it's up to you. Feel free to play around with different kinds of beads for decorating the top. So this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and like me on Facebook. And don't forget to share pictures of the jewelry we've made from my videos on my Facebook page, and follow me on Pinterest. Thanks for watching.